Alright guys, so today I'm going to answer your next round of Dear Astra questions, and today I have about 4 questions that I chose off the list. And these will be answered kind of periodically between myself and Sarah and potentially a few of our other admins as well. But there's a good chance that her and I will be handling the bulk of your questions. So today the questions that I chose are, I guess we'll just go with the first one. What effects would Chiron conjunct the ascendant have on a relationship? I'm guessing this question, sorry, this question relates to the actual individual themselves. Like somebody in the relationship has Chiron conjunct the ascendant, and you're not speaking on the basis of like a composite, because that would be very, very different. But we're going to go with that from an individual basis. So, Chiron conjunct the ascendant in general, what is that? That's something that we should probably get out of the way. If your Chiron is conjunct the ascendant, your wounding is right out there in the open for the world to see. Now, the basis of your wounding can be very different. If you're like myself and you're in the Chiron and Gemini generation, most likely if it's conjunct your ascendant, you're a Gemini rising as well, but you might not be. You could be Taurus or late degree Taurus or early degree Cancer. But we're just going to go off the basis that normally it would probably be a same sign conjunction. From a Gemini perspective, you're going to be looking at wounding from the point of communication. So the person with the conjunction to their ascendant, their communication is going to be wounded, and that's going to be very much so apparent in their personality. Obviously, any other Chiron sign could qualify. Say they have Chiron and Leo, and that's conjunct the ascendant. That's going to show you normally, or it's going to show kind of a wound in the person's confidence, their ability to shine, their ability to be creative, and kind of burst forth with inspiration and light. How that would affect a relationship, though, necessarily, I can't really tell you. It's going to affect the individual a lot more. They could potentially, if you guys are both in the same Chiron generation, you do have the ability to wound that person very greatly if your Chirons are conjuncted. Due to the fact that any wound that they do bear is something that is very visible within them, and it's something that they kind of have to work through. What's awesome though about those Chiron ascendant people is that they have this also strong ability when harnessed, and I'm going to say harnessed and not healed, because the thing is you can't ever fully heal yourself of that wound, but what you can do is kind of learn to harness that energy from a collective level and teach all people within your generation through your own being, through your own presentation of yourself, how to heal themselves as well. Again, from a relationship standpoint, how that's going to affect your relationship necessarily, I can't really say. If synastry wise you guys have Chiron conjunct Chiron, I could see it kind of playing out. But the biggest effect that I would see probably would be in relation to that person's confidence. Mainly if they haven't worked through their pain to the point of feeling comfortable in it. Again, like I said, there's never a real cure for that original pain. But there could be confidence-related issues, definitely, between that person and the world around them, not just a relationship or romantic partnership. The next question on my list is, how would a Mercury dominant person fare during a retrograde? Do they have a benefit or a detriment? That kind of depends, honestly. No, they don't really have a benefit. The Mercury dominant person is probably going to suffer more. But then again, it does also depend on whether or not the Mercury dominant person has Mercury direct or Mercury retrograde within their birth chart. Due to the fact that they're dominant within the planet that rules communication, when all of that's kind of going haywire and going backwards, that person might be feeling like they're very thrown out of whack, because that's a part of their essence. A part of their being has a lot to do with communication and expressing themselves from a verbal standpoint. So it all depends really on whether or not their Mercury is retrograde or direct in their chart. If they do have a retrograde Mercury in their chart, there's a good chance that they're not really going to feel as out of place. And that's true of all retrogrades. retrograde periods are normally a lot easier for those who already have the retrograde in their chart, and they almost feel more at home and at peace while everybody else around them is going freaking crazy. But if that isn't the case and they do have a direct Mercury, there's a good chance that it could affect them very strongly, for sure. My next question is, do seasons have an effect on the signs? E.g., Sagittarius equal winter, Leo equals summer. Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly. Seasons, what do you mean, like Sagittarius season? Like, how is the Sag gonna feel? I know I'm asking this as if I'm gonna get a response for somebody. But during, like, Sagittarius season, or around then, due to the ingress of the planets, the Sag is going to experience planets in its home sign that are most likely going to be conjunct the sun. So there's a good chance they're going to be feeling a lot more lit up, in a sense, a lot more Sagittarius than they normally would. It's kind of like, I don't know. I notice, like, in different seasons I feel at home, like Pisces season for my son, like I feel the most at home, or even Scorpio season with my moon being in Scorpio, I feel really content. So that would be what I would mainly see out of that. There's no real effect necessarily. It's more so a feeling of kind of coming home. Now with Leo, say a Leo during like Scorpio season, Scorpio and Leo are squaring each other. So, or even during Aquarius season, those are both squares. So the planetary ingresses are going to be squaring the sun, and that's not going to feel so good. So it's all kind of dependent on, like, the way that the planets are ingressing and what aspects are being made to the planets in the chart, i.e. the sun. For example, as a Pisces during Sag season, at a certain degree, my sun will be squaring the transit sun as well as whatever planets are in Sag, and you feel kind of out of whack during those time periods. So it's all kind of about what's going on in the sky and the different degrees of your natal sun and all of that. And my last question is, can you explain how differences in a sign will show itself when one is born towards the first half of the sign versus the latter, i.e. a Pisces born in February as opposed to a Pisces born in March? All right, so there's a few different ways that I could go about explaining this one. And the first one would be to look at decans. Now, personally, as an astrologer, I actually don't know a lot about decans, and maybe I should get on that bandwagon, but I prefer to kind of go the other route where I'm looking at differences in the Pisces born in February and the Pisces born in March by the planets that they have. So a Pisces born in February, so at the very beginning of Pisces season, and kind of into mid-Pisces season, right? You're going to be getting a lot more planets in Aquarius, which is going to give that Pisces a lot more of an innovative approach, a lot more of a free-spirited, kind of a individualistic vibe to them. While if you're going for a Pisces who's born later into Pisces season, you're getting hit with Aries planets, which are going to make that fish a little bit more of a fighter fish. So there is a big difference there. And then mid-season, you're also dealing with more planets in actual the Pisces sign, and they're just a lot more dreamy. Pisces with a lot more personal planets in Pisces are very floaty and idealistic, and that's more where you're going to see the bulk of Pisces. You're going to see Pisces in its truest form, while the other kind of differences in this season, you're going to lean more towards Aries or Aquarius. Or if you're born kind of in the middle, then you're kind of just getting the best of all three sometimes, along with potentially Venus and Taurus as opposed to Aries or Pisces. So yeah, that's where you're going to see the difference. But again, if you are interested in kind of noting those differences more, decans would definitely be something to look into. I'm just not well versed in them because I don't really feel like I need to be. I have other knowledge that I want to use to back up that theory. So yeah, those are our questions for today. And Sarah will be doing a round of them sometime later this week, I do believe, as well. So if you guys have any other questions you want answered, go ahead and send us a message to our Sarah inbox thingy. Like we have said a couple times, it is a lot easier when we do have your birth info, but if it is just general astrology questions that you're kind of wondering about, we don't really need that too, obviously. And also, I guess I should add that both her and I do give readings as well. So if you guys wanted to book with either of us for a full reading as opposed to just a question, you would have to hit us up via our inboxes and kind of ask about prices. I can't speak for her and I don't feel like rambling on here. So yeah, thank you guys.